Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center. And boy, have we got a big deal today, right, John Gutierrez?
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again to our community podcast show, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, John Gutierrez, Senior Vice President here. We have another great guest with us today. We have Ms. Betty Martinez Franco, who is the founder and CEO of PRISMA Communications, a multicultural public relations agency. She serves as the representative for Ford Motor Company, overseeing Hispanic Communications Outreach efforts on the West Coast. Welcome, Ms. Betty Martinez Franco.
Well, thank you so much for having me here.
All right, let's just get your mic right there, and we got sound. You're good?
Yes.
All right. Yes, and first and foremost, for everybody listening and tuning in, we want to thank Betty Martinez here, Franco, for also supporting our toy drive, which is coming up December 7th, next week already. We're excited to have you guys support and be a part of it. And it's going to be really cool because you're also bringing a truck.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So we are bringing a Ford Expedition Timberline, which is a 4x4 car. Mm-hmm. It's once you see it, you're going to fall in love with it. But it's one of the largest SUVs that Ford has in the market. We're going to decorate it with Christmas holiday decorations so people can take pictures and just
have fun with
around.
it.
Yeah,
yes.
Have fun with it.
And it's going to also help us transport the toys that we're all going to gather that night at our fundraiser. Mm-hmm. Can I get more sound on this, Paul? I'm sorry.
You want more?
A little bit more sound.
Did you pay the sound bill today?
I know what's going on with this, Paul. Huh?
All right.
The other thing I want to mention is when I was a kid growing up, one of my favorite cars was the Ford Bronco. It was actually my brother-in-law's. Shout out to my brother-in-law, Joe. Mm-hmm. He had a Ford Bronco Eddie Bauer edition. And it was the coolest thing ever. It had like just really nice interior. Mm-hmm. And one of the coolest trips that I had with this Ford Bronco, you're smiling because you know the Ford Bronco, right?
I love it.
Isn't it?
Yes.
The new one is just wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's just insane, right? But this Ford Bronco, I can't remember what year it was. It must have been like in the 80s, right? We took it to San Francisco to take my grandpa, who had just arrived from Mexico, wanted to go see his daughter, who hadn't seen in years. And it was a trip he had to take. And we go to San Francisco to see his daughter, my aunt. And we come back, and he enjoys this whole trip to San Francisco, right? He returns to Mexico. Mm-hmm. The minute he arrives in Mexico, he falls asleep and passes away. And it's a sad story, but it's also a great story because we have all these memories of my grandpa in this Ford Bronco, in this trip, And it's such a cool story because he almost knew he was going to pass away, right?
Yeah.
But he wanted to go visit his daughters that lived up north, and obviously my mom, who was here locally. But this Ford Bronco played such a cool role in my grandpa's life and our life. And we have pictures in this. It's like a maroon or something, and Eddie Bauer interior. Really nice, by the way. But the new Ford Bronco, wow.
It's to die.
Isn't it? My son wants one, by the way.
Yes, they're amazing, and you can order it and just put everything you want from interior. I just came from the LA Auto Show.
I saw that.
Yeah,
man.
That I saw all the Broncos that they modify and do all these cool things that people that love off-roading. It's just. It's a paradise for people that love off-roading with the Bronco.
Yeah, and the Ford 150, man, that's such a popular truck. Mm-hmm. I see that everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
And Ford, it's been a brand with Latino population. I think this is something that when we first come here to this country, and we think about our first car, is either Mustang or an F-150.
That's true.
It's a very loved brand by Latinos.
I actually can say that growing up, you're right. The Ford Mustang, the 5.0, everybody talked about that. I remember like in the 90s, my cousin had a red one, convertible, just beautiful car. I mean, the speed in it was just the power. It's luxury and power, right?
Yeah.
The Mustang. So Ford Bronco, right? First of all, Expedition, Ford Bronco, the Mustang, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the Ford F-150 that everybody knows about, right?
Exactly.
And are we allowed to mention that Lincoln's part of Ford, right?
Yes, they are part of Ford. However, we are not very involved in I'm not very involved in the communications plan. From time to time we help, but not super involved. But they have
Ford
awesome.
is such a big, company, obviously, right? So let's talk about you, because this is something we like to go into the show. Let's talk about you and how you ended up in this career, in this, industry, because we know you have your own PRISMA Communications PR company, right?
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about your journey and how you got to this point?
Yeah, no, right from the beginning, I was studying in Mexico communications right when I met my then husband. And then we decided, we were young and we didn't even know what we were doing, right? So okay, let's go to United States. He was living already here.
What part of Mexico, can we say that?
Yes, Morelia.
Morelia,
Michoacan.
That's where my mom's from.
Oh, yeah?
Morelia,
Oh.
Michoacan. We're paisanos.
Beautiful, yes. I'm from Monterrey, but I consider myself Moreliana.
Because that's the main city, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the capital.
The capital,
My
yeah.
mom is from Pajacuaran,
Okay.
so in Michoacan still.
Yes. There's
so-
a lot of around it, but
Yeah.
Morelia is the place that a lot
Yes.
of people go to.
Exactly. And we came here not even thinking about that we should have, at least I should have gotten a passport. So we crossed the border illegally. I know. It's,
But there's a reason why. We won't go deep into
Yeah.
it, but you were basically leaving a difficult situation in Mexico.
I was just really just out of love.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was just being a rebellious, in love type of menudo song.
Yes,
Right? Back in the day, menudo was
exactly.
big in Mexico and all over
Exactly.
the world, that famous band.
Yes.
And they were talking about all these love journeys, right?
Yeah, and that was me. I'm a dreamer. I'm always been a dreamer, and it's just okay, I think that we can make this work. We came here, and we crossed the border. It was a whole ordeal, and I can talk to you another time. But yeah, once we crossed the border, things start getting hard for us because we were so young. He was 18, I was 20.
Wow.
And we didn't know what we were
Very
doing.
scary to be
Yes.
that young into a whole new world.
Yeah.
I know because my dad talks about that.
Yeah.
Well, he used to talk about it before he passed away. He used to
Yeah.
talk about how difficult it is to come into a new world where you don't know the language, the culture. Depending on what year you came. My dad came when there was very few Hispanic people here, so that was even more difficult. So what was that like, arriving to a whole new world? What was that like, the challenge?
So, see, even though I wasn't in the position of other people that come here that because of need, economical need, I turned into the entire population that need to work for living, and I never worked in my life. So when we couldn't find work here in LA, where his family live, we decided to try the fields in Washington State. So we traveled to Washington State and started working in the fields. Never working in my life. I was a middle-class child.
Wait, you never worked in your whole life, and you go work in the fields?
Yes.
I know the world of the fields because my dad worked in the fields.
Yeah.
And I know how hard that is. That's not your average, hey, we're working at a warehouse job, doing other stuff, ironing clothes or something, or, no, you're talking about hard work in the sun.
Yeah. Well, in this case, in the cold.
In the cold.
Yeah, in the cold.
That's right, because you're talking about
Washington State.
Wow.
So it was a humbling experience, to say the least. You know the term fresa?
Of course.
I was a fresa in Mexico.
I almost said that earlier. When you said I came from Mexico for money and all that, and I was like, and it crossed my mind.
Like this.
Wait, is she a fresa girl? Because I've heard that term from other people.
Yeah.
I normally don't say that word because I thought it was like a bad word or something.
Yeah.
And so you came from being in a fresa world to being like a really hardworking. Paul wants to know, what is a fresa?
You got to tell me what a fresa is now.
So
Spoiled brat?
Yeah, like a valley girl.
A valley girl?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
guess.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
I even have the accent of the
Oh yeah, when
fresa,
you go to Mexico, Paul, you can tell who are the fresa people, the way they talk.
So what did your father do?
He is an engineer.
He was an engineer.
Yes.
Okay, so you were taken care of, and you're just
Yeah. That's why she didn't work, you said, right?
Yeah.
Growing up. You
Yeah.
didn't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Your dad did okay. He was
Yeah.
fine. And
Yeah.
suddenly, daddy's girl leaves the country to go to another world, and she's working in the fields.
Yes.
What was that like for like your parents? And I mean, that's
They were not happy. My dad.
what are you doing, basically?
Yeah, my
right?
dad was like, "You need to come back. Like, what are you doing?" But I'm very also,
Rebellious,
stubborn.
like
Yeah.
the song Menudo. There's
Yes,
songs like that.
exactly. Yeah, I'm stubborn too, and I'm very resourceful. So I say, you know what? We're gonna make it work. That's okay. But things turned to the worst with my ex. I went through domestic violence for 7 years until I decided to actually escape that environment.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Wow.
and went to women's shelters. But that was I think the most scary part of my life because I really didn't know. He put me down and told me, you cannot do anything without me, right?
Wow.
So to just go into this world where I was depending completely on him, I mean, I went from my parents to him and depending on him, it was scary, right? And I have to do all these things for my kids. So I say, well, I mean, I'm here and let's do it. Again, my parents wanted me to go back. And I say, nope, let me just try. I'm going to try.
You wanted to prove that you could do it on your own.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
of course.
Again,
So,
the stubborn in you that you mentioned earlier.
yes. So I did it. And although I had to do babysitting, which was amazing for me, I did housekeeping. But the babysitting actually helped me to really raise my children. And my bosses were really understandable, and I raised amazing children as well. But I didn't have documents. So at that moment, I was just like, I'm over. I'm going to go back to Mexico. And but for some reason, an opportunity came to get my legal documentation. The moment that I got my green card, I went to OC College and enrolled into college.
Here in Santa Ana?
Coast College.
Oh,
there's-
OCC.
Yeah,
Orange
OCC,
Coast
yeah.
College. Yes, in
Yes,
Costa Mesa,
in Costa
right?
Mesa.
Wow, good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, so that's how I started my journey. I started from zero. It didn't matter that I was in college in Mexico. I decided to start from zero. I was going to be a photographer because I thought I couldn't do any professional career because I was too old. And but talking to counselors, they told me, no, you're never too old. Went to do my associate's degree in communications, transferred to State Fullerton to do my communications and public relations. And from there, I did internships and in Telemundo. That was a great experience working in the newsroom. And then...
Wait. Let's pause for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I love when people are telling their stories, the journey, right? This is why we ask. We call it in sales and marketing peeling the onion, right? We peeling the onion, right? We're going into it. But when you really think of her story right now, you at one point were working in the fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're working for such a huge corporation like Univision.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's look at that.
Oh,
That,
yeah.
that says a lot. Your journey, where you had gotten to, right? A lot of
Yeah.
hard work
Yeah.
because you went to college
Yes.
and then decided I'm gonna pursue this other dream I have.
Yes.
Wow. So Univision, that's huge.
Telemundo.
I mean, sorry, Telemundo. I'm sorry, Telemundo.
Yeah.
What's Telemundo? What was that like to be at Telemundo?
Well, the first time I arrived for my interview, I was amazed because I never imagined how many Latino professionals were in one room. And I owe this to my mentor in State Fullerton, Inez Gonzalez. If you see me, it's like...
Shout out to Inez
yeah.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
State Fullerton is one of our big partners here at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
We do a lot with our youth chambers, so shout out to. So that was one of your mentors.
Yes. So she actually, I have her words in my brain. It's like when you have an opportunity, just take it, because that opportunity will never come back. And the opportunity was to work in Telemundo, drive at 12 at midnight
Wow.
to Universal, and my shift was until 6 in the morning. So it was quite a challenge from Irvine driving to Universal. And
That's a drive.
yeah.
That's a drive.
Yeah, but I wanted to prove myself, like, because in Mexico I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be in just telling about what's happening in the wars, because back then in the 1990s, the wars in Iraq were happening, and I wanted to be part of it. And
do you think that also played a role in why you wanted to migrate? Because of the world of, as a journalist,
yes,
what was going on with the wars in Iraq with the U.S.?
Yeah.
Because you were so intrigued by that?
Yeah, I think so. I
Interesting.
wanted to explore the world.
Yeah.
I wanted you to, regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you were in love, which
Yeah.
is good too.
Yeah,
That's not a
exactly.
bad thing. But, yeah.
So yeah, and then from there, it's like I decided, you know what? I wanted to be backstage. I don't want to be
Yes.
here. This is, you cannot control the narrative. You are really working for the people who are sending you the narrative. And then I discovered that a lot of companies don't know how to communicate with multicultural communities. They are not putting their effort. They think that one language, like just reaching out in English, might do the trick. And then their sales go flat and they wonder why, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I thought I could be that gap of connecting companies with communities and just trying to teach them how to communicate in their culture.
Yes. You know, you make such a valid point here at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. One of the things that we've done in the last year or so, year and a half that I've been involved more in the depths of it, Sylvia Pizarroso, our chair, who's very big proponent on speaking the Spanish language, and like you said, the different layers to businesses in different languages, right? Especially in Spanish. So we've worked on making our website also in Spanish. We're working on more information in Spanish because there's a huge buying market, a huge business world out there in the Spanish community. And so that's good that at a young age, at an early age in your career, you saw that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I continue just exploring the world of PR. I did a couple of other works in LA, which helped me. Every PR person wants to work in entertainment, right?
Look at Paul.
That's where I started.
So I needed to get it out of my system. And
when you say entertainment, what does that mean? Like TV or just like
red carpets?
Okay.
And not TV, but like just managing
the events. Okay.
And everything.
Celebrities, lights,
Celebrities.
cameras,
Yes.
action.
So PR. So in reality, I'm a PR person. I didn't even realize because I'm always at red carpet events. I'm always doing events with red carpets and the VIPs and all that. Wow.
When I first met you, I thought that your career was in PR.
Really?
So you're a great candidate.
There you go. And here we are in a podcast show. I guess.
Yes.
I guess I'm a PR representative, or
Exactly.
So take us forward to PRISMA Communications. This is, you started it. You're the founder of it, right?
Yes.
Is this just, so rewarding to know that this is your own baby? Like, this is your own organization, your own business?
Oh, yeah. There was something on me since I started this career that I wanted to have my own business. I just didn't know how, right? COVID happened. The company didn't make it. And then I had to quit my company. And at that moment, the client that I've been working for 4 years already said, you know what? We put a notice to your company. If you start your own company, we'll go with you.
Wow.
Because we really want, we
And this
trust
one
you.
client was who?
Ford Motor Company.
Motor.
You
Now,
know,
you
that
want to say
little-
something amazing, John?
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
This is a girl who crosses the border illegally, works in the fields, and then says enough, and says, I'm going back to school again. Went to school in Mexico. I'm going to go to college again. Gets a degree.
But ended up at Telemundo.
Telemundo, driving up there
Huge.
at night, at midnight, to do the midnight shift.
Right? We're
everything.
doing the summary here.
And suddenly, the Ford Motor Company on the West Coast says,
Yes, sir.
we would like to follow you. We'd like to be your client.
Yeah. I won't say the word we use in our neighborhood growing up, aka la, you know what?
Yes.
You know, she's the badass, you know, like that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that like for you to that they felt that they believed so much? I mean, that's great. That says a lot about you and the relationship you had with them, right? I mean, that's just, you must have gone home and was like, yes.
It was a combination of emotions. It was like, I was very excited to be an entrepreneur. I was very nervous to be an entrepreneur.
Of course.
Because I didn't know a thing of what my clients say. You can start an LLC. Actually, my client guided me.
Yeah.
You start an LLC. I'm like, oh, I'm Googling everything. It's just like, okay, I'll start my LLC. I did it. And then it just like, as I was going, it's just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I need to do my own accounting. What?
Yeah.
So it was.
You're you know, forced or thrown into the world of an entrepreneur, which is something that today we're sharing more in, thankfully, beyond college and school, because, you know, a lot of that we don't learn in college. And now we're seeing more universities, more colleges. Our chamber does, you know, events. We're supporting more the entrepreneur because it is very challenging. It is very difficult. Like you said, what is an LLC? What is a C Corp? What is a corporation? Like, right? Wait, I have to do my own, you know, billing and collections, and it's pretty scary.
Yeah, no, and thanks to SBDC and the chamber, I've been learning a lot.
SBDC has helped you.
Yeah,
that is great.
Yeah, I take as many workshops as I can.
No way. That's great. Mike Daniels and Ruben Franco, let's give them a shout out for, you know, they work with the SBDC. That's great to hear that you take advantage of those opportunities there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, have you heard the saying of eres luz de la calle, oscuridad de tu casa?
No.
Okay.
What does that mean?
It's
for Paul, who doesn't understand.
You're the light of the street, and you're the darkness of your own house. So it means that you can do everything for everybody, but when it comes to yourself, you don't do a thing. And that was happening in my own business, that I wasn't doing my own social media, even though I'm an expert in social media.
Wow.
I wasn't doing
interesting.
My own PR.
Yes.
Even though I'm a public relations
Well, you know
person.
where that comes up a lot? I have to tell you, when you go to a salon or you go to a barber shop and they do your hair, they cut your hair, but when you look at the barber or you look at the lady doing your hair, like, you're like, how is this person cutting my hair or doing, you know, when their hair looks horrible, right? And that's very true. They say that about mechanics even. They say that the mechanics drive the oldest, beat up most car, right? But yet he's the guy in there fixing your car, right? And so it's true. Sometimes we don't, you know, take care of ourselves, right?
Exactly.
And so you realize that.
Yeah, I realized that, and I realized that I think it was more organization more than anything, because I knew the foundations of everything that I needed to do to market my own agency.
Good for you.
So I'm still working with SBDC, and I just trying to hone more into my own skills and see myself. One of the things that we suffer, Latinos, is the imposter syndrome. And I've been suffered that forever. Just like,
share with everybody, what does that mean?
So imposter syndrome is when you feel that you're not good enough at doing something, but you have already the skills. So one of the things, it has helped me improve, don't get me wrong. I mean, just because my imposter syndrome, it pushed me to go to USC and get my master's in public administration.
USC?
Yes.
Good job. Look at you. Killing it. Look at her. Now, let's get into, because we only have a few minutes.
Yes.
I know this. Let's get into the Latino Forward campaign that you have going on, which is Abróchate por Amor campaign. Share with everybody. I know you brought us some really cool stuff here from PRISMA Communication, right? And share the little teddy bear that you got here with everybody.
So the teddy bear, we have made it kind of a mascot for the Abróchate por Amor campaign.
Okay.
The Abróchate por Amor campaign from For Latino, it started during Valentine's Day as a gift to our loved ones, to tell them the need of buckling up. Buckling up saves lives. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in 2021, at least 26,000 people died of car crashes.
Yes.
From those, 50% could have been saved by using the
56%?
50%.
50%.
Yes.
Wow.
They were not wearing the seatbelt.
That's scary.
I know. So we know that now with the holidays and coming up, when people drive the most, there are not just so many distractions, but like, let's say you're going to your family's house and you're having the mom trying to put the pozole in the bag, the kids complaining that they didn't like the outfits, and the dad is like, come on, let's get going. So when they get into the car, everybody forget to remind themselves to buckle up.
Yes.
And accidents happen and the kids get projected out.
I've heard, and I don't know the statistics, but I've heard somewhere or seen somewhere that there's a high percentage of where major accidents happen, like literally like a couple miles from your home.
Yes.
It's weird. It's crazy. And I don't know if it's maybe because I'm a sociology major. I love studying human behavior and what happens in our society. And it's maybe because when you're leaving your home, you're so comfortable. You're in your couch. You're kind of in a relaxed mode. So you kind of get into the car and you just kind of chill. You know, it isn't until you kind of get out in the road that you start focusing. So maybe at the beginning stages, you're just not on high alert, right? You're not on top of everything. And that's when major accidents can happen. It's just interesting to me how that is. There's a high statistics of accidents.
Yeah. And well, if you think about it, when you are going to the store a block away,
It's true.
the kids in the back, they don't buckle up. It's like, hey, we're just going.
Yeah, we're just going to go around the corner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So very interesting. We did a few years ago a campaign, 100 Deadliest Days campaign, with a drug glasses, and we invited the media to drive the cars in an obstacle course.
Wow.
Imagine with the mind without any drugs, just with the goggles. The first thing that they forgot to do, guess what was it? To buckle up.
Yeah.
So if you are in your right mind and you forget to buckle up right away, any distraction can be fatal.
It's interesting you guys do something like that in healthcare, which is my background. We do something where we take young people and we put cotton balls in their ears and we put, glasses with high, and it's for them to know, and I think they put stuff in their shoes. It's for them to know what an elderly person goes through as you get older, how you can't see and hear, and it's hard for you to walk.
Yeah.
And it's really for them to learn the compassionate side, to have patience when it comes to the elderly. When you're caring for them, they can't hear you well, they can't see you well, they can't walk well, right? So that's great that you do that in that industry, right? Because I think it's very important. I know as a kid growing up, we joke about it, but now that you're on this campaign, it's not funny, because when we were kids, our dads would take us down to Chino Hills to drink. They used to go drink milk with the cows, right?
Yeah.
Fresh milk. And we'd get up early in the morning. Like, I think it's because it was so early at 4 a.m. There was no cars. They didn't care. So we'd all jump in the back of the truck, I won't say what kind of truck it was, because it wasn't your truck, by the way. It was another vehicle.
Okay.
And we're with, a camper, and we're going on this road trip, and we get a flat tire. And I remember all of us kids bouncing in the back everywhere. I mean, it was like 6 or 7 of us bouncing in this truck everywhere. And it was just like the most craziest, scariest thing ever. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. We pulled aside, they fixed the tire, and we went on our way. But again, back to the seatbelt thing. Today, you can't do that. You can't be in a truck. You have to have a seatbelt, right? So it's good that a lot of the laws have changed, right?
Yeah, of course.
For safety purposes.
Of course.
Well, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for supporting our annual toy drive that's coming up December 7th, which is next week on Thursday. As far as a PR company, please let everybody know briefly. They can reach out to you, right? Where can they find you?
Yes, so I have a website, PRISMAcommunications.com, and I have also social media, Instagram, Prisma Communications, LinkedIn, Facebook, and my personal Betty Martinez PR.
Betty Martinez PR, founder and CEO of PRISMA Communications. Betty, thank you for being on the show. I know it goes by fast. That's what happens when you're having fun. But we want to wish you continued success. What a great story.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure your parents are very proud of you, right?
Yes, they are.
I mean, you wanted to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
like that Menudo song back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do my own thing. And look at you. I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty amazing, the journey, right? The story. So shout out to your mom and dad. What's their names?
My mom is Betty, which she's very sick right now. And my dad, Jose.
Wow. Pues
Yeah.
le mandamos mucho rezo a tu mamá.
Yeah.
Que esté
Thank you.
bien, ¿ok? Y muchas gracias, Betty, por estar en el show. We got to go a little bit Spanish.
Yes.
¿Verdad que sí?
Sí, claro que sí.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in again, folks, to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We'll have another great guest next week. Again, please follow us on social media at OCHCC, which is our Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Instagram, Facebook, and you could always go to ochcc.com to learn more about our chamber and all we're doing in the community to help small businesses and everyone else in the community, all of our nonprofits and our colleges. So tune in next week. Paul, take it away, sir.
Wow. Well, there's another great reason to tune in each and every time to meet our community, people like Betty here. As we look at the Hispanic business community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation.